Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. I'm filming this opening at a different location for reasons of sun angle this time of year and just general traffic issues. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the MakerLight E14 IV flashlight. I want to thank Flashlight to Go for sending me this light and making the review possible. If you've seen this light online, you may be thinking this looks a bit longer than what I remember, and you would be exactly correct. The light can be run off of an 18350, which is supplied in the box, or an 18650. It can also be ordered cool or neutral white. Now, you've probably seen 4,000 lumens. Sounds exciting, 4,000 lumens, 4,000 lumens. Well, in order to reach that peak output, you need to be running an 18650 cool white. And that's the model we will be looking at tonight. Now, to install the 18650, unscrew at the top, take the factory battery out, unscrew at the bottom. This sleeve extends down, drop the new battery in, screw it back on the top, you're good to go. On the bottom, you have magnetic mount. Even with the 18650, if this is on a smooth, flat surface, it will hold. I tested it on the refrigerator door. Single side switch controls everything. You have 4 output modes: Eco, General, Turbo, Special. Eco has Moonlight, Ultra Low 1, Ultra Low 2 as its output levels. General has the usual suspects: low, medium, high. Turbo, self-explanatory. Special has strobe, beacon, SOS. The Cliff Notes version is from off. It's either press and hold, single, double, triple click to get into one of the modes, and then other than turbo, press and hold to cycle through the output levels. Flashaholics may appreciate that Moonlight output can be programmed. But enough of that. You didn't come here to listen to me babble on about the light. You want to see beam shots. You want to see how the light performs under realistic circumstances. You want to see if there are any snakes out tonight. Maybe one will get me. You want to see the difference in turbo between the two batteries. All right? You want it? You got it. Okay, we're at the bridge where I normally do output level test. Eco mode, this is Moonlight. Ultra Low 1. Ultra Low 2. Now I'm looking down into the creek about 35, maybe 38 yards line of sight from where I'm standing. General mode low, medium, and high. This is a very low candela light, so as you move up in lighting mode, a lot of the difference is going to be in side to side or peripheral illumination. It's a very wide field of view, much wider than I can show on the iPhone. And that's the double click into turbo. Let me just pan left and right while keeping the light fixed, just to give you an idea of the field of view. And yes, it's getting very hot. One thing I like to do with an EDC style light is a close proximity search. This is ultra low 2 in the eco mode, and we're here at the playground. You can think of this as a scenario where you were out here, the kids were playing later in the evening, it was still light out, somebody dropped something, you didn't notice it till later, now you have to come search for it. So what's the lowest mode that I can do an acceptable close proximity search? And yeah, this ultra low 2, of course I am running on the 18650 right now. Cool white, this is definitely getting the job done. And they're out tonight. The other test I like to run with an EDC is just a simple path following. So you were out late in the evening, got jammed up, got lost. By the time you find your way back, it's dark. This is the only light you've got. What is it like to follow a well-groomed path? Well, you need pretty good downrange. This is in low. I would say this is barely adequate. I'd like a little bit more, but of course you get longer run time out of this. For just following the path and minimal side-to-side situational awareness, it's adequate. That's up in medium. I definitely prefer that a lot more. If I had to do this for real, then I'd probably alternate between low and medium. There's a lot out here that slithers or walks on 4 legs, and if it's got eye shine, I want to see that eye shine as far away as I can, commensurate with good run time and other situational awareness. Well, I want to show you a couple things. I've got my headlamp on right now. Notice that the E14 is off. Now, when I turned it off before, in general mode, I was in medium. So one click, general mode, it remembers medium. Let me get the headlamp off. Now, you can't quite see across the creek to the other side. I can just barely make that out. That's a good 35, 38 yards. But let's suppose I hear something to my right and I turn around, double click, I can go direct to turbo. So you do have direct to turbo. And if you like big light output, I hope you like heat. And of course now I can see way back into the opposite tree line. I'm at the top of the observation tower. There is some light behind me and above me, but not very much, not enough to illuminate the extent of the bridge, which is 25 yards, then 35 plus to the far tree line. So here's the E14 in high, and it does a great job. Let's take it over here. And even at an angle on a curved surface, the mag mount is working just fine. All right, let's run through the very basic cycle one more time. Much wider area, longer line of sight, over 55 yards. General mode and low output. There's medium. High. I'm going to hold the light steady and rotate the iPhone so you can see the expanded field of view. And double click to turbo. And keep your fingers away from the head area of the flashlight. And through the magic of editing, we're back. This is the light with the factory battery installed. You can see a much more compact form factor. I've got my headlamp on now, so let me turn this on. There's low. Let me get the headlamp off. And let's do this one more time. Low, medium, high, and turbo. And definitely see we lost a little bit at the far end, but in the low to mid range, it looks very comparable. Heat is still building up, not quite as bad. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down tonight. I say this a lot, but it needs to be continually repeated. I do search and rescue as a private contractor. I'm not interested in promoting anything. I use whatever works, and I've never had anybody that I've helped object to the gear that I use to find them, rescue them, get them back to safety, take care of their medical, food, hydration needs, and so forth. So, yeah, the heat's really building up here. I'm not an advocate, an ambassador, an enthusiast, or a fanboy of any brand or model within a brand. I'm just the guy who runs the test. You make the decisions, and I hope you saw enough tonight to make a decision one way or another. If not, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do. Still have a pretty hefty backlog to work through this summer, however. And as always, until that next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.